don't get paid if you sleeping, man. You don't know where I come from. You don't know what I've been through. Realize I don't say I sent you. You getting mad, I'm sitting back. I'm fucked up, I'm getting trash. Gotta go watch 2 gold chains and I go real like you know. Man, I rap like it's loaded. I mean.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another amazing video. Thank you so much for clicking on this video right here. I'm here to show you how I chart. This could work either way for cryptocurrency, for stocks, whatever you want to chart. This works out. Now, this is my own strategy. There are just thousands and thousands of ways of how you can chart. You just gotta find your own way that works, your own way that you can improve on, and so on and so forth. And not to mention, you know, if you make a mistake, write it down, jog it down, keep it in the literally deep in your mind. That way you won't fuck up again over and over, because this is, you know, your hard working money, so you got to make the most out of it. Every single penny counts. What I love about this strategy specifically is that you do not have to have like a whole bunch of lines everywhere, and once you look at it, you're confused about what does what. Okay, let me first mention that this is tradingview.com. If you don't have an account or anything, make it. The link is in the description below, so you guys can check it out. You guys can make your own account, and if you want to copy my settings, that is perfectly fine. Let me know if you do. This is, in my opinion, super easy. That it tells you when to buy, when to get in, when to get out, if it's bullish or bearish, anything like that. I hope it blows your mind, and I hope it works out for you if you want to try this out. Let me first start off that you can search up any stock you want to. I'm gonna actually keep it at HD because one of my buddies in StockTwits mentioned it, and I had already charted it anyways. I was looking at it. Shout out to the people from StockTwits, my good old buddies. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not StockTwits, I'm Slack. That's my bad. Let's see. On settings, I'm gonna start from the top. You can pause the video, do whatever you want to. I'm not sure if once you make your account, this is what pops up. But if you want to pause it, copy this right here, and this is the status line right here. Scales, there you go. Appearance. Now you could change any of these colors, themes, how thick your lines can be. Trading, there's that. Events, you can just copy that. Now I do not have the full account, like the premium or anything. Mine's just a free account, and that works perfectly fine. Okay. Now, once you have all that jotted down, you need to have the RSI here on the bottom, which that's my settings right here. I just like having it that color and that thickness. I like to have it at 70 because usually above 70 is a sell. Whenever it's anywhere from 30, give or take 50-ish, that's usually whenever you want to buy. You see these right here, perfect bounces around 30 to 40, give or take, and it curls up. And once this starts heading around the 70 and above, you get a lot riskier, and that's whenever it starts selling off and slowly going down. So in my opinion, once a stock is around 30 to 50, that's whenever it gives you a good indicator about it's a possible buy. But you also have to look into a lot of factors, which I'm about to tell you. All you need is the 13 moving average close and the 34 moving average close. And I have purple for the 13 and pink for the 34. Them are just random colors that I decided to have. You don't need anything else, okay? This is what's so great about this charting strategy, that it works so good without any crazy lines all on your face and you're like, what the hell is happening? So the 13 moving average close. The style, this is just the style that I have right here. The inputs, the length is 13 because it's 13 days. at the close, and the offset is 0. So every 13 days there's a close, so on, and the 34 days, close, offset 0, and them are just the colors that I have. Like I said, you can pause it, copy me if you want to. Now this is where the cool part starts, okay? So the 13 moving average is this purple right here, right? So whenever the purple, the 13, crosses downward and the 34 crosses above, it usually about 80% of the time it means that it's turning bearish, or it is going to be bearish for the next coming days. Now look at this right here. And it's not always going to happen, but it gives you a really good indicator of when to get in and when to get out. Like this right here, here, all that. Okay, so whenever the 13 and the 34 cross, that's whenever you gotta pay attention to it. Whenever the 13 crosses downward and the 34 crosses up, there's a downward trend right here. Now keep in mind right here, this is where you could possibly start entering. I like to have it on the daily. The daily, the weekly, and the monthly are the main ones that I pay attention to. So on Home Depot, I have to, whenever this crosses, I'm gonna keep an eye out. Possibly whenever it crosses, get some puts and write it down until a bounce happens. And as it continues going down, you could get call options and start loading up the calls until it bounces upward. And of course, you have to get about, I would recommend like a monthly contract or something. And so once it starts trending upward, I wouldn't get in until you see the 13 crossing above the 34, which will indicate that it is a bullish momentum and that there's going to be an upward trend for a few days. So let's say you got calls all this way right here, started loading up monthlies or something, and you waited till the pop of the 1334 crossing. There you go right here. Look at all this uptrend right here. Once they cross and it's above, it's bullish, you can start selling off some of your profit, take it, do whatever you want to do. And now back again, look at this right here. They cross. It was a little bit late on the cross, but it's okay because it's still below it. Anything below the lines, it's bearish. But if the candles stick above the 1334, they just look how perfect they bounce off of the 13 right there, and it just continues going upward. Once they cross right here, the 34 crosses above it, man, it is over. Look at that. Just perfect bounce up and up and up all the way up here. And once it crosses here, that you just can't predict dumps like this right here. You just can't. But now it's debating whether to cross or not. It is having a hard time right now. It looks like they want to touch, but it could easily just, have a small space and never touch. This right here, the lowest scenario, 258, give or take, and it will probably have a bounce. You could always just add your lines, as always, somewhere around there. Give or take. It looks like it's going to continue bouncing. So bounce here, test, down here, test. So it had 3 lower lows, which isn't good in my opinion. So it'll probably be trading for another few days downward. Maybe even test back to that low of 258 like I mentioned. If not, then it could possibly have a small bounce trying to touch that 1334. Another good thing about this charting is that if you see charts, and let's say we're right here, right? None of this has happened just yet. If this is way up here and the 1334 lines are way down here, it would typically mean that it needs to be cooled off a little bit. And what the candles like to do is be close to the 1334. If they're way over here and the 1334 are way below it, far behind, I'm certain 95% of the time, if it's way up here, there's gonna be a big sell-off like what happened right here. It was just getting too out of control, and the market didn't like it, so it just dumped completely right here, so it could refresh the 1334 and have a better collab with the charting and everything. So there is that right there. You could always put in your lines, your support and resistance, you know, any typical. If the resistance is, if they touch at least, you know, 3 times, that's a resistance line and or a support line. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, so about 5 times. I could actually take this one and bring that back. It's not perfect, but you know. Oh, and there's a double line, my bad, I didn't even see that. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has touched 5 times. Delete that. So you could actually argue right about there that this is a channel. It just touched the resistance, failed to break, went down to touch. I use the wicks as my worst case scenario, best case scenario. Some people use the wick, some people use the body of the candle. If you don't know what the wicks are, they're just like the little tiny candles sticks that are above or below it. The body is just the dark shaded candle, pretty much the body itself. I like to use the body like this one right here as a worst case scenario. That's where I got the 258.68 from Home Depot. That might retest again. And let's see. So the resistance is up top. Once it has about three contacts and it failed and it drops, that's your resistance. And the support, if you have 3 or more times that touch and bounce up, that's support. And it could change anytime at all, any second. It changes between if you use the daily, the weekly, or the monthly, hourly. It's all different, okay? So this right here, you can tell this is a channel right here because it has been touching the resistance a lot and has been touching the support a lot. And if this right here fails on the support and it just goes below the 258.68 and it closes below it, then it lost support, and it will most likely look like it is gonna test 257.61 as another support, give or take 252 and things like that. Continue going downward because people do not like. I've seen people use somewhat of the same strategy I use, but they go more into detail, more specifically. Mine's more simple based, whatever. As long as it makes me money, I don't really care. That is my strategy. This is what works for me. That's how I tell my Slack group when to get in, when to get out, my price targets, my worst case scenarios, my best case scenarios, things like that. You could also check the RSI that creates a higher high right here, higher high. So it looks like there will be a bounce, but if it's not above the 1334, it's not bullish in my opinion. Like right here, it is not bullish at all. If it's below, like it's been, it's bearish. It's either waiting for something news or I don't know, something that in order for it to get it all the way up here and have upward momentum back to 292. Let's see. Let me try to show y'all another great way to use this. I'm gonna use SPY. So as you can tell, I've charted it a lot. Perfect right here. Support, bounced, resistance, it broke through, and it just created perfectly right there. And once the 13 crossed above the 34, super bearish. And right here, it was so hard whether to determine if it's bullish or bearish. I remember them days too because my Slack group and everything, we were so debating because it was like, what is SPY doing? Which way is it gonna go? It's uncertain, and this right here is why. Look at that. This right here, I think I was cash most of the time because I was just like, no, definitely not. This is not happening. It's uncertain what SPY wants to do. And I have a lot of previous drawings also. So see, look at this. it was just bouncing right on the 13 perfectly. There's are small fake outs that will happen, and you just got to get used to them and numb to them also. And right now it looks like it wants to do another fake out, but eventually, in my opinion, it will continue being above the 1334 for a more bullish action. But anything can happen. I could probably just say that, and then it'll just dump. Yet another example right here, just perfect, man. I'm telling y'all, this is the most amazing settings ever. You guys can get used to it. You can chart whatever you want to. It can be Bitcoin, it can be any other cryptocurrency, it can be an altcoin. This works for everything. It is great. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to tell you guys. This is what works for me. I hope it works out for you guys. Let me know if you have any other questions. Good luck. I wish you all the best. Make an account. The link is in the description below. I wish you guys the best. Take it easy. Peace.
You don't get paid if you sleeping, man. You don't know where I come from. You don't know what I've been through. Realize I don't say I sent you. You getting mad? I'm sitting back. I'm fucked up. I'm getting trashed. Gotta go watch 2 gold chains and I go real like.